it's 7-Eleven. That's the closest thing, or also not a liquor store, but there's a couple gas stations that have a little shopping area as well, connected for the snacks. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what store was at from my glancing, but I could be wrong. There could be another liquor store that I'm not thinking about, but I doubt it, because on one side of the street, it's not one, when you're on this side of the street, once I get to the shopping center, at the next light is Solano Avenue, but then as soon as you go over the overpass, then it turns into Springs Road, which is where it happened. So yeah, if you can see it, that light is Solano, then there's an overpass with the next light, and once you go over it, it turns into Springs. And also, if I would have went left just there, it's weird. This turns into Springs up here, but there's also another side that doesn't link up. And it's odd because it's a bunch of, it's weird how they made it, because it's offset from the overpass over the freeway, but it's the same street, just not connected. I wonder what time it is. So hot. It's like 9:45, 10 ish. I don't want to go with that on ramp, overpass, I mean. I was gonna go to the other post office that's over there on that side of the freeway, on the overpass that I didn't go up, but didn't want to deal with it. Didn't really have a reason. I was gonna do it to kill time, and it takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes one way to get there, but I just went to the one by my house because once I put my backpack on, since my back is so fragile, I didn't want to have to ride all the way over here. Not that it's that far, but my back, I worked out yesterday, and while I was working out, I kind of pinched some nerves, but at the same time, after I stopped and while I kept going, I felt a little bit better because my back's been hurting again the last few weeks. So since it was uncomfortable, since I had 2 boxes, they weren't that big, but they were kind of puffy, like kind of long, not kind of deep, not really deep, but deeper, so they kind of bulged, even though they were both like that big, like not too big, but enough that once they were in my backpack, they were kind of jabbing into my back. So when that happens, I always try to do what's more comfortable and convenient. But I did finally change my seat on Wednesday, and I haven't ridden my bike since. I did it after I came back on Wednesday from recording the last video I recorded. So my bike was just sitting there with this new, used but new to me comfy seat. It's like a comfort seat, which is good for me since I got back problems, obviously. So hopefully it helps. It's also a little bit wider in the butt region, so hopefully that helps too. Since I go on so many long rides, I'm down to experiment with a little extra, even if it looks goofy compared to the rest of my setup, if it's more comfortable. I have a Free Spirit I got for like $10 in 2017, 2018 at a garage sale, and all I had to do was swap out the tires because it maybe tighten a couple things, if anything, besides the tires. It was like a 10 speed or 12 speed. I kind of regret taking it apart because I was going to turn it into a single speed just to have a single speed, but now I want a geared bike, so I might keep that project going because I have a Univega that I got at Goodwill in 2019 for $20, and I accidentally snapped the gear shift because it's so old. Oh, I might not have. That's on the Scott. I may or may not have done it on both though. Snapped the shifting cable from doing it a little too vigorous with it being old and decrepit, because both are from like the 80s, early 90s, depending on which one. But I want to get both those working because they're fun. I stopped riding the Univega because I got this bike, plus I didn't want to, which I probably should have done, just took it to the bike shop, got a new back wheel, and got all the cables and all that redone, because it may have been cheaper or around the same, I don't know. But there's always another day. Maybe I'll learn how to fix older mountain bikes, road bikes, hybrids, anything with gears, whether it's disc brake or rim brake. Since I wouldn't have to put it through the frame for the most part, I'll assume it might not be that hard, but I would not want to work on a new bike. I wouldn't even get a bike that has internal cables. Seems like a hassle, but that is my next journey, so I can get better at working on bikes. Right now I primarily prefer single speeds and fixed gears because obvious reasons, but I do have a few project bikes that I need to work on. It's just I keep selling other parts, replacement parts. So I need to get more parts to keep and to sell, so I could have a better ratio and have some side income from that. But hopefully I can get the back room cleaned the next few days. I started, but then my back started hurting, and my mom's Zoom meeting schedule throws everything off as well again. So it's better than it was, but still need to get the feng shui better, get it so I can actually maneuver a little bit more. But I need a more area to walk and work on bikes. I need to figure out what to do with all my boxes. That's the main problem. I have tons of boxes for when I ship stuff. I like to have different sizes because not everything I use fits in a post office box, and I don't always go to the post office. Sometimes I do FedEx and UPS, so like to have an assortment of brown boxes or whatever, depending on which shipping company I'm using, as well as what size the item is. But I have a ton because why not? I just have a lot because my parents usually buy a lot of stuff off Amazon, and I usually keep those handy because you probably know they're typically pretty sturdy for the most part, and they have an array of sizes. But since they have an array of sizes and the back room isn't that big, and I have a bunch of my clothes in there that are slightly too small amongst a few other things, right now they're just a big pile on the ground of things I have to situate, because that's what I started on them 2 weeks ago, something like that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then I just left it there because my back hurt. But I can at least walk around now in there easier. There's just one little girl's bike that's kind of in the way, just because it has training wheels, but it's just a matter of moving my feet higher. I mean my leg higher, so not much to do compared to how it was having to walk all over. So hopefully I can figure that out. I don't want to get rid of the boxes per se, since who knows, I might put them in the shed. That could work out better per se. Just have to see. Or in the garage. But I don't want my dad to randomly throw them away, is my only gripe, because he might do that since he gets, which is fine, but he gets in these little sprees or he'll want to clean and he doesn't always ask. I think he accidentally threw, I don't know. I was kind of bummed. I sold a calculator over the weekend, back on last Friday. I had to cancel the order because I misplaced it or he threw it away. I'm not sure, because I remember it being one place, then I remember it being in another place, and it was in neither. So I don't know. So that sucked because it sold for 15, which wasn't too much, but it helps, especially because the next day is on Saturday, it's when the first cassette sprocket 9-speed sold for 55. So after fees together, it would have been a nice little bump, but it's all right. I have like 50 something pending on Macari, so that'll help towards my bills. Don't hit me. Paranoid about getting hit by vans since it's happened to me before. That's why my back is so sketchy. And the lady tried to deny it when she finally called me. She was like, oh, I don't know why she said it this way, but for some reason she decided, she's like, what are you talking about? I'm a good Christian lady. And I'm like, what? Okay, this is a weird way to start something when it comes to someone saying you hit them and did a hit and run. And the most annoying part is it took like 3 to 4 weeks for her to even call, because like she never showed up. And then luckily her neighbor happened to be on his porch sitting, and he saw the whole thing, and he kept helping me out every time I would go by to try to talk to her, because obvious reasons. But he kept giving me updates saying, oh no, she still hasn't been here. But since he was nice and said if I took her to court, he would be my witness and testify for me right after it happened, we talked for like 5-10 minutes. But one of the other times